Welcome to the Shreveport Connection. My name is Tommy.
And my name is Steven.
And finally, the connection has returned together. And this video is on Monday Night Raw and FCW, along with some live events in the state of Louisiana, and some WWE news, and also a Ring of Honor show.
Yeah.
TV results for taping.
My favorite, I'll tell you later, but my favorite part of the show.
You talking about Ring of Honor?
No, I'm talking about Raw tonight.
Okay.
But I didn't get to watch it. The results were... We have great Comcast service, Tommy.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Trust me.
It's great.
Just great.
Okay.
All right.
Start us off, Tommy.
Okay, so news. Ray Wynn attended the FCW live event from Melbourne, Florida on Friday. Sent the following report. Husky Harris is a newest character. Well, he went down with a shoulder injury early on in the stages of the main event. And people were not very happy, but it was a legitimate injury. And all the refs were there to check on him and came to the rescue. Mason Ryan showed up and wrestled. Before the match, Damon Sandow introduced him, and Abraham Washington was there. Raquel Diaz, everybody knows that's Eddie Guerrero's daughter, along with Vicky Guerrero. She lost the FCW Women's title to Alicia Fox's little sister, Kaylee Turner, a.k.a.
Tough enough contestant.
Yep.
Broke her foot, right?
Right, and Shaw was very upset afterwards. She was crying. Some folks that were saying that because she was sad because she's leaving FCW, and she also did the Three Amigos.
Eddie Guerrero's Shimmy Strut.
And the Eddie Guerrero's Shimmy Strut. The people popped for it, and she was great. Just like her dad, it was real smooth. So having her lose the title makes no sense unless she's moving on and upward to WWE TV.
I bet she is, Tommy.
And the reporter also said that he met Brodus Clay and the Funkettes. Mm-hmm. And all of them were nice. And Naomi is a big girl, according to the reporter.
Yeah, that's true, Tommy, because we saw two divas live, and they were as big as in TV as they were in real life.
Yeah.
Beth Phoenix and Natalia.
Okay.
The other ones were skinny. Go ahead.
You want to read the birthday list?
Well, Terry Funk turned 38.
68.
I hope he turned 38. I'm kidding. He turned 68, and Funk was inducted into the Hall of Fame along with his brother in 2009, Dusty Rhodes, as well. And former wrestler Scotty 2 Hotty is 42 today. And he lives near the Orlando, Florida area. And WWE referee Charles Little Notch Robinson is 48 today.
Little Nate.
Yeah. And Alicia Fox turned 26 today.
If you remember WCW days, it looked just like Ric Flair. That's why I call him Little Nate. Okay, Alicia Fox also had a birthday. She turned 26. She was born June the 30th.
She's younger than me.
Little Nate, Scotty 2 Hotty. They were born July the 2nd. And Terry Funk was born June 30th, 1944.
See, we always thought Terry Funk was older than what he was.
Yeah, I was thinking he was like 70 to 72 myself.
He needs to retire.
And it appears that Alicia had the weekend off. She was not advertised for the weekend super shows and continued to work in WWE developmental.
Cody Rhodes' birthday was...
And Cody turned only 27.
He's younger than me, too. By like a month.
Wow, and just think, if he was ever come champion, he'd be beating Randy Orton. The youngest ever champion.
No, that's...
Because he turned 27.
Oh, well, he can't do that now because Randy Orton was 24, 25 when he turned champion.
I thought it was 26 before when he came champion.
Well, he can't do it now.
Okay, other wrestlers, former WWE talent, Amy Weber, she turned 42. I didn't know she was that old. And she was born July 2nd, 1970. She had a brief stint with WWE in the company in 2005 while alleging harassment from some wrestlers. She left she and her husband have been gone since then. AWA television show that is not Augusta Wrestling Alliance, that is American Wrestling Alliance. Television returns to ESPN Classic tonight following the advertising matches. Wayne Bloom went against Baron Von Raschke. The Trooper went against Mike Enos, a former Beverly brother. Killer and Psycho versus the Hangman versus Stewart. Any can you?
We'll see.
Okay, and some other matches. Jammer and Paul Hyman. That's Paul Diamond in an elimination tag match. And there were no dark matches listed on the arena website for tonight's Raw event. So my guess is if it was to happen, it'll be the usual Big Show Tensai handicap match against John Cena.
There was a dark match actually, Tommy. It was after the show.
With John Laurinaitis involved.
Right, it was a handicap match between John Cena, the Big Show, and Ford Tensai.
Yep.
And Big Show knocked out Tensai. It was knocked out, and then Cena gave show for the AA to send the crowd home happy. And then John Laurinaitis came out with a chair and hit Cena. And he wanted to do it again. Cena hit him with the FU to end the show and give a standing ovation.
Oh, that was instant breaking news. I just checked it right before the video started.
And that was from pwatorch.com.
And I was just on there as well. But sometimes it helps to have extra help from an iPhone.
That's right.
Okay, DDP delivered a spoiler that said he was going to be at Raw. Bang! Feel the bang!
Inventor of the
It's
cutter.
It's me. It's DDP.
My favorite wrestler of WCW days.
And you can also follow him on Twitter. And don't forget to watch his YouTube videos.
He is a
DDP
great
yoga.
And he's a great yoga instructor. He helped Chris Jericho get back into shape.
Yep.
And believe it or not.
And he appeared on Raw.
And gave.
Spoiler will be given later.
He did this. Wow. On his later.
Anyways, he was at the Fandom Fest in Louisville, Kentucky over the weekend. He told a reader of a website, a dirt sheet, that he was going to be at Raw on Monday, but did not say what capacity he would be used. Mm-hmm. And this guy has posted several good random blogs for his reports. And he also predicted that it was probably against Heath Slater, and guess what?
It was.
Pretty good prediction. JR commented on Stone Cold, Bill Goldberg, and Dave Bautista if they will return to WWE and his thoughts. Would you like to read that, Stephen?
Read it all. It says I get these two.
It's far off.
It still says the same thing.
I got an extra. Extra string here.
I wonder if they're asking to change.
Okay. I guess whenever it went big screen, I lost it.
Well, he's basically saying that if Stone Cold and Goldberg ever turn to WWE, I'm wondering why those two don't tweet the same about having has had a wrestling career, wants to return to the grid. It's not that glamorous because Stone Cold and Bill Goldberg are building more.
Yeah, they're building a film career.
But they've not closed the door completely on working the matches for WWE. And Goldberg working with WrestleMania should have worked with WrestleMania in Georgia, but
right.
Austin won't be back for a short run at best. I guaranteed he would ever return to the ring. But there has been talk of CM Punk and Stone Cold wrestling at WrestleMania.
And then JR goes on commenting on pro wrestling bias. I strongly dislike the unflattering traits that may incur socially. Why acting for some wrestlers, it is a viable alternative for performers leaving the business, society, and many other opportunities for former wrestlers without them having a marketable skill set, especially education. Everyone needs something to look down on to feel better about themselves. So look down on pro wrestlers, people who obsess over political talk shows, original Star Trek nerds, and Wisconsin residents. It's all in good fun, but I do find a sense of irony in those who obsess over the political talk shows, yet on pro wrestling, and can't spot the similarities in many cases. And then JR comments on things he's over. Past their prime wrestlers who still won't look into the mirror and save their earnings by doing no financial planning, including paying their taxes, paying quarterly means, paying once every 25 years. Same goes for another or others. I had it all and lost it athletes who live better by staying away from Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Nice line regarding the quarterly taxes, not meaning every 25 years in general. It is sad that so many athletes don't take care of business. That being said, I hope WWE is taking steps to help educate their talent on their finances. Other topics included the movie Ted, Anderson Cooper's gayness, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes' divorce, the greatest NFL turn pro wrestler, and more. Okay, WWE is advertising that additional wrestlers will be added to the SmackDown version of Money in the Bank. Meanwhile, there is no indication that additional wrestlers will be added to the Raw match, which is advertising John Cena versus Big Show versus Chris Jericho versus Kane.
Yeah, to my personal opinion, Tommy, on that, they don't need any more because you got 4 big names you're talking about here. Guys that have been in the business for over 20 years,
yeah, but,
except for John Cena.
The original way that
or at least 10 years.
Money in the Bank, they had the qualifying matches all in one pay-per-view, 8 men. Moving for 1.
But they have to eventually change it.
So if they did that for a pay-per-view, it would be 16 men, 8 matches, yada, 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 make it a whole pay-per-view.
But they don't want to waste
But
time.
they don't want to waste that time, so they're doing the qualifying matches before. So you're going to have all the basic 4 matches still. So even if you added them, it'd be done in 2 weeks.
Even 8 guys seems too many in a Money in the Bank because you can't really do a whole lot.
Okay.
6?
WWE website article notes that additional wrestlers will be added to the SmackDown match over the next couple of SmackDowns, with 5 men already qualified and 2 weeks ago. That seems like a good indication. That then 6 wrestlers this time around. Though nothing is official as for all, keep in mind that they are eligible. That being said, it's still possible that additional wrestlers could be added to the mix.
And maybe a former WWE champion.
Right, could be a former champion.
For instance, Rey Mysterio, who
Right.
is cleared from his suspension and has been rehabbing his knee injury.
Update on a cryptic comment from Matt Morgan, formerly of WWE talent, the stutter.
Yeah, with an MIT degree.
Yeah, with an MIT degree, and under the carbon boot print, whatever he calls it, in TNA.
He's a big boy.
He said he made his decision on his future in pro wrestling. Morgan replied to a follower that said she would be upset if Morgan does not appear on TNA Impact anymore. And Morgan replied, I already told my true fans will appreciate my decision, and those that don't, to kiss my
well. And I honestly, what do you think? I honestly think he's leaving.
I do.
I don't think he's happy in TNA.
He's very not happy.
They don't give him the push that he deserves. They don't even give him a push, period. He's been a glorified tag team person at best.
A report credited to Wrestling Observer Monday stated that the WWE officials are interested in headlining next year's Hall of Fame class. In regards to a report, wrestling convention promoter had a following statement on behalf of the legendary grappler to PW Insider concerning a living legend Bruno Sammartino into the Hall of Fame in 2013. His word is broken publicly. I can confirm that we have contacted Bruno Sammartino to announce that he will not be inducted into WWE Hall of Fame in 2013.
Hmm.
Following...
You know somebody would be good for the Hall of Fame, but he's not really wrestling, but would be a good mark on his resume.
The following report is about Maxine. She has been released from WWE, according to the website, and she has changed her name on Twitter handle to Carly Leilani. She is also representing herself under her real name, Carly Leilani Perez. She wrote, "Hell yeah," in response to a remark that she is no longer has to call herself Maxine and can now be her true self. So the former WWE diva has indicated on the account that she has planned to pursue an acting career. So good luck with her future endeavors.
They always do. They always want to go into acting.
Of course, wrestling is partly acting.
That's why The Rock went into it.
It was announced on Monday's Raw that the winner of Tuesday's Great American Bash Live SmackDown Battle Royal will be next week's SmackDown, next week's GM for the SmackDown television show. PW Insider reports that the Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombardi, played tonight's part of Doink the Clown on tonight's Raw, as he has played that character many times in the past.
Well, that's not fair.
And now for your Ring of Honor TV taping from Baltimore, Maryland at Du Burns Arena, and results courtesy of PWPonderings.com. Match number 1 was Adam Cole and Eddie Edwards defeating Brutal Bob and Mike Bennett. That's Mike Bennett, the prodigy Mike Bennett, boyfriend of Maria Kanellis.
Who wrestles him?
And Maria slapped Cole after the match. Ray returned to even the sides. Kevin Steen defeated Mike Mondo in match number 2. Rhino, formerly of TNA, in match number 3, and ECW, defeated an enhancement wrestler. Number 4, Tommaso Ciampa defeated Mike Seidel. That's Matt Seidel's brother, I believe. Okay, match number 5, Adam Cole defeated Roderick Strong to win the Ring of Honor TV title.
And there was a spoiler on that, too.
And number 6, now these are spoilers, by the way, the Briscoes defeated the Guardians of Truth. It was announced that Kevin Steen will defend the Ring of Honor title against Eddie Kingston on August 11th. And match number 7, Mike Bennett beat Lance Storm. In their third and final match, Maria interfered. Del Rey and Edwards saved Lance Storm. Kyle O'Reilly beat Matt Taven. Match number 9, Bravado Brothers defeated Michael Elgin and Roderick Strong. And your main event. Ooh, yeah, brother. Jay Lethal, Kenny King, and Rat Titus defeated Kevin Steen, Steve Corino, and Jimmy Jacobs. And Lethal hit his finisher on Jacobs to get the win in a 6-man tag.
And it's only a matter of time before Rex Titus goes to WWE or TNA.
Either one of them.
Because he's from the Indie Fed Circuit. Go, buddy.
Yep.
You'll make it.
And everybody knows Jay Lethal is well deserved for to come back to either TNA or WWE.
That's right.
Okay. Super Show results from Monroe, Louisiana from June 29th episode of the live event.
Here.
This was by far the best house show that the reporter has ever seen. In many years, the crowd interaction was great. It's a new house show set. Definitely gave it the feel of a much bigger program. And the Monroe Civic Center was sold to around 85%, I'd estimate, which was much better attendance than previous shows. And I'll let Stephen read the first 3 matches.
Sin Cara beat Hunico. Basically a standard match between the two guys, with Sin Cara looking much better than in his movesets. In the live event on TV, Hunico got major heat during the match, and I'm convinced that the Camacho is a Spanish for Virgil, old reference of the night. Basic crowd warmer match that got some high flying spots from Sin Cara and Hunico, and a couple of power spots from Hunico. And to me, those two guys really do work well together. That's why they let them do some of those matches. Santino, this has been a basic match on house shows. Santino, United States champion, beat Jack Sprader to retain the title. It's a comic match for the house show, much as they do on Raw as well. They added up, by the way. They did several comic spots between the champ and the Swagger.
Yeah, Santino and the ODB.
Always this little thing Santino does, which is funny as heck. I always love him for it. Did the Cobra finish? Took some extra time for the comic spots. Jagger shakes hands and dances with Santino on the blind side him, playing the Santino trumpet, and then he went to hand it over. And side note, Swagger is huge in person,
yes,
which
he is.
I do
He's
believe.
Like 6'5".
He was a football player. And then Divas champion Layla beat Natalia to retain the Divas title. It's funny to see how much more the crowd was more into this match than they do on TV. I guess that what happens when the match is allowed to go a little longer than 1 to 2 minutes. Solid showing for both women, with Natalia drawing decent heat and Layla being won over with the crowd, which that's always good.
Right, I'll read the next 3. Intercontinental Champion Christian defeated Cody Rhodes to retain the IC title. This was a contender for the match of the night. Great spots from both guys, with a tease from a promo that aired early on, giving possibility to Cody actually winning the title at a house show instead of pay-per-view or TV event. There were too many great spots to recap, and unfortunately, they watched the match while stuck at the merchandise booth.
Mm-hmm.
But great finish with Rhodes missing what I believe was a moonsault and an attempt, and Christian hitting the spear for the win. Match number 6, Kane beats Chris Jericho in a Raw Money in the Bank competitive match. I don't know if it's a fallout from AJ's spot on Raw, or if Jericho is just that damn good in his heel role. Mm-hmm. But Kane came off as a face and was way over for the night. Solid match for these two, with both looking pretty good. I think the conclusion of the Devil's Favorite Demon and the recent Brian Punk feud was refreshed from a bit. And he's looking better in the ring. Jericho can play a crowd like Fozzy can play in a concert. He managed to keep the heel element by not hanging around. As soon as he choke slammed Jericho and got the win, he was on his way to the back, not selling crowd reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus defeated Alberto Del Rio to retain the title. Don't know why, but it wasn't as the reporter wasn't as into this match as he had hoped. The match itself was fine, but it didn't do anything to make me want to see it again on pay-per-view. Sheamus got a huge pop, particularly from the kids in the crowd. Del Rio could throw money into the crowd and still be hated. Mm-hmm. Can anyone say $1 Million Man?
Version
3.0. As for the match, Del Rio worked the arm. Sheamus hit the road kick, and the champ got the win. SmackDown replay match. Okay. You want to read the next 3?
Yeah, the WWE Tag Champion. Kofi Kingston did come out and announce that R-Truth was still injured, so he asked Zack Ryder to be his partner. So WWE Tag Champion Kofi Kingston and Zack Ryder defeated the Prime Time players Titus O'Neil, Darren Young of AKA NXT, and Darren Young of Nexus. Decent match with Kofi explaining to the crowd that R-Truth was still injured, but he still would defend the title with another partner, and then Ryder's music hit. The crowd popped huge, actually. They actually like Ryder out there in Monroe. As for the match, a lot of good offensive moves. Wouldn't look, let's see. Offensive moves from the PTP, the Prime Time players, and then wouldn't look too weak that they even got a false pin after Young hit a finisher on Kofi. Little Nate came out from the back, telling the ref that his leg was on the ropes, though they started the match straight out of Kofi hitting and Ryder hitting Trouble in Paradise and Rough Rider for simultaneously pins.
In other words, new champions, and Little Nate changed his decision.
Yeah. And then WWE Champion CM Punk beat Daniel Bryan in the Monroe Street Fight match decided by the audience to retain the WWE title. This was easily the match of the night. Punk was over with everyone, and Ryan had a strong following as well as the yes chants.
Orgasm.
Yeah, we're all over the place. Eventually, the kendo stick and a chair were brought into the mix for the street fight. Even though 99% of the match took place in the ring, AJ's music hit, and she came out and distracted Bryan. Came out screaming on the stage, prancing, and then distracted Bryan, and gave CM Punk the opening for the GTS and for the win. And also, the sign guy, which we met that guy, he is tall, was in the crowd, and Bryan tore up his Punk sign in the ring, and then Bryan brought it in a no sign, which was a funny spot.
Punk then brought in a no sign.
And then the final match of the night was John Cena beating the Big Show in a steel cage. They go to a steel cage in Monroe, but they can't do it. John Cena won't even show up the street.
Never heard a live crowd pop the way they did for Cena's music when it hit.
There were boos that didn't hear him, and also there wasn't the
Let's go Cena
sucks chance, and I was like, really? Cena had several escape attempts, but he looked as he took punishment from the show. He went for the World Weapons of Mass Destruction, missed, hit the cage, and then walked right into an AA for the pin and sent it home happy. If this is the new caliber of the house show for the WWE, I'll be at every one that they hold here. Great show with only noticeable absence being Randy Orton, who's still on suspension, Ryback, who could have beat some locals up, Brodus Clay, who wasn't missed, and Dolph Ziggler, who was definitely missed. And you can read off the
biggest pops, John Cena, CM Punk, Sheamus, biggest heat, Big Show, Jericho, and Alvaro Del Rio. And they gave it 4 out of 5 total stars.
Not bad.
And from Lafayette Show, at the Caden Dome, a report by Matthew Cormier from PW Torch Reader. Matt Striker welcomed the crowd to and announced that the all 6 WWE titles will be on the line. Sin Cara beat Hunico. Hunico cut a heel promo before the match. Sin Cara seemed much smoother live as opposed to TV. Also note that Hunico's heel tactics were garnering as much of the crowd reaction as Sin Cara's offense. And Hunico was also there. Camacho was also there at ringside with Hunico. Match number 2, U.S. Champion Santino defeated Jack Swagger to retain the U.S. title. Comedy match, funny spots, and the crowd really got into it.
Did we see a trend here, Tom?
Yep, it's kind of a repeat show.
Kind of a repeat show.
So far, the first 2 matches are identical.
Beating Natalia.
Cody Rhodes cut a promo backstage saying he doesn't have to wait until TV or pay-per-view to win back the Intercontinental title.
Repeat. It's also a repeat. He cut a promo in Monroe as well.
I lost one spot.
Divas champion Natalia lost to, U.S. champion Layla lost to Natalia. Layla beat Natalia to retain the Divas title, which was an awesome one as well. And they actually let them run around. And then Alberto Rodriguez got a pack stage roll. And the Intercontinental Champion Christian beat Cody Rhodes to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Finished with a moonsault, and Christian hit the spear.
Post-match goal spot where a fan of ringside had a sign wishing Cody Rhodes a happy birthday along with his beating tonight. Christian put the sign in the ring with Rhodes. When he came around, the crowd attempted to sing happy birthday, but Cody wanted no part of it, continuing to sell his frustration and being a heel. Kane beat Chris Jericho in a Raw Challenge match. A little bit different. Jericho played the heel to the crowd so well that the Kane was treated as a face very by default. The level these guys are still working after all these years was incredible. Kane hits a chokeslam for the 3.
That sounds like what happened in
Monroe. Match number 6, World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus defeated Alberto Del Rio to retain the world title. Sheamus with the match of the night. Ricardo Rodriguez involved himself in the matches really well. And they had a really good spot where Sheamus getting his arm caught in the middle of the top rope with Del Rio landing kicks to the arm. Del Rio then hit an arm breaker off the top rope and followed up with an arm bar, but Sheamus got to the ropes for the escape. Ricardo distracted the ref, and Del Rio tried a sneak attack, but Sheamus countered into a brogue kick for the win. Slow parts early on, but a decent good match. Match number 7, Tag Team Champion Kofi Kingston and Zack Ryder beat Primetime Player Titus O'Neil and Darren Young to retain the titles. Good match with a quick pace. The crowd was really behind Kingston and Ryder, and O'Neil and Tyson was worked really well as a team. I don't know if the matching tights or me being desperate for more old school tag teams, but I like these guys. The false finish came when Young hit his finisher on Kofi and got the 3 count. New tag team champions, but Little Nate comes out from the back to inform the referee that to be restarted, and Kofi and Ryder hit the finisher for the win.
This sounds like exactly the same.
Yep. WWE Champion CM Punk beat Daniel Bryan in a street fight to retain the WWE title. Cool side of story on Punk here. Punk tweeted earlier in the day about the hospitality he received from a local comic shop in Lafayette, which his brother actually frequently visits. The owner of the shop was close to ringside, and Punk gave him his shirt. Not sure if Punk got him in, but I thought that was neat. The crowd voted street fight rules for that match. Early on, Bryan picked up a kid at ringside with a Punk shirt. At one point, Punk dragged Bryan out there and chopped him in front of the kid, then high-fived the little guy. Chairs and kendo sticks were used in this one, and it got this one has the 2 went back and forth for a while. At one point, Bryan had a chair and it seemed to be in control of the match, but AJ came skipping down long enough to distract Bryan. Punk hit the GTS for the victory. Crowd was really into this one. Match of the night between the two, best in the world.
I agree.
Match number 9, John Cena defeated Big Show in a steel cage match. Again.
Yeah. Sometimes
Biggest pop of the night went to Cena. Show dominated early on. There were a couple of spots where Cena was almost over the cage, but Show was able to wrangle him back in. Show went for the WMD, but Cena ducked and Show hits the cage. Cena hits the attitude adjustment for the pinfall, which sent the crowd home happy. Again, pops. John Cena, CM Punk, Sheamus, Heat, Daniel, Bryan, Big Show, and Cody Rhodes. I've been to quite a few WWE live events, and I think this was the best show I've ever attended. Very good card with really entertaining matches. We start off Raw with video package with highlights of John Cena versus Jericho and Big Show's interference. from last week's show. And we're live from Laredo, Texas, as Michael Cole welcomes us to episode 997. They hyped tonight's show. They hyped tonight's general manager, Teddy Long, and his main event. CM Punk and John Cena versus Daniel Bryan and Chris Jericho. The Money in the Bank briefcase hangs above the ring as John Cena's music hits, and out he comes. I'll let you read.
Alright. Okay, Cena talks about last week as he thanked Jericho and thanked Big Show. Says Jericho was right about him. He used to be prepared for the Money in the Bank match. Jericho was right about anything happening in that match. He also said that he got a crash course education in that when the Big Show attacked. And he also knows now that what exactly will happen at the Money in the Bank match. He needs to be prepared for anything. He says two things are going to happen at Money in the Bank. Big Show will lose at the Money in the Bank match, and he will grab the contract, cash it in the contract, and become the new WWE champion. Well, then Daniel Bryan comes out, interrupting his chanting yes, all the way to the ring.
Orgasm! Orgasm!
Yeah. And then he says he didn't really even realize John Cena was out there. Wow. He says that John Cena is irrelevant to him, and that he's going to defeat CM Punk at the Money in the Bank and become the new WWE champion. And he said Cena manages to get to the briefcase, then his relevance will be the first superstar to ever cash it in his contract and lose. And Cena can think of one of those people that disagrees with Cena. CM Punk appears and heads to the ring. This is a lot more than one person who disagrees with Bryan and gets the fans to chant. Okay. Let's see. And then everybody starts coming out, and then Punk dances around the ring chanting, yes, 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 doing the mocking Daniel Bryan.
There he goes to one side of the side of the crowd, and he even points to a vendor that's up there in like an upper deck. Yeah. Do you think Daniel Bryan's gonna lose?
Yes. Dances around the ring chanting yes. He begs for one person to have an original thought and not to steal his. Punk brings up AJ Lee being the special guest referee for their Money in the Bank WWE title match, and says that Bryan's ex is going to count his shoulders to the mat. 1, 2, 3. And said if Cena wins the Money in the Bank, and it comes down to just them, and then Jericho comes out and interrupts. Out he comes out and says CM Punk is still a wannabe. He mocks Punk for copying his ideas and calls him a Bon. And then CM Punk calls Chris Jericho Bon Jovi. What a reference. Jericho and then Bryan have words, and then Jericho cuts him off with a big "shut the hell up."
I like that one.
And he says, "Welcome to all of us to Raw is Jericho."
Yep. Those, by the way, those are his most famous quotes. And we're talking about stealing quotes.
Debut with those words. And then Jericho says, "Nobody in the ring will ever will be the same again." And tonight, Jericho says he will invent the Money in the Bank. That he invented Money in the Bank, so he's going to win it. And then Jericho's interrupted by Kane. Out he comes with the pyro. And he grabs Jericho's mic, and he's interrupted by Big Show as he comes to the ring. And Cena,
Fight breaks out.
And then the fight breaks out, but is attacked from behind by Bryan. Jericho and Kane go at it while CM Punk drops Bryan with a kick. Interesting. Brawl ensues. CM Punk goes down and then Kane takes Jericho out to the corner. Big Show comes in and goes at it with Cena. And then I think Cena goes for a choke slam on but Kane makes the save. And then Show fights off Kane and headbutts him, and everybody's all laid out except for Show. And Show leaves everyone laying there and walks up the ramp and go to commercial. Wow, a big chaos, Tommy. And nothing gets done about it. They all just brawl each other.
A way to open a show.
Yeah.
And what's that? Will it take about 20-something minutes again?
Always.
Cody Rhodes, David Otunga, Titus O'Neil, and Darren Young were already in the ring. They faced off against Christian, Santino, and R-Truth, who returned, and Kofi Kingston. So it was actually an
eight-man tag match.
8-man tag. And back from the break, out comes AEW with Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. That's Cody Rhodes. Rhodes waits. Waits in the ring already with David Otunga. So you got the tag team champions, R-Truth and Kofi Kingston are not out next with our IC champion, Christian, with US champion, Santino Marella. Christian starts things out with Young, and they go at it back and forth. Christian with a missile drop kick for a 2 before tagging in Truth. Kofi comes in. He ends up taking out Titus on the floor, but gets floored by Darren Young. Both teams square off at ringside as they go to commercial. Back from the break, Cody is in control of Kofi. AEW is mic'd up at ringside, and we hear him rooting his team on. It seems like we automatically hear a microphone added to him. Well, Titus comes in and slams Kofi hard for a 2 count. Kofi comes back with a drop kick, and he takes Titus down. Santino and Otunga come in at the same time, and they go at it. Santino with a stunner and a 2 count as Young and O'Neil break the pin. The tag champs come in, and they take them out. AEW tells Young and Titus to stop, and he takes them up the ramp, and they leave the match. Otunga and Santino go at it. Otunga tries to go for a tag with Cody. Cody drops off the apron, and he walks out of the match. Brodus Clay's music hits, and out he comes with Naomi and Cameron. Otunga goes to the floor, but gets attacked by Christian and then the tag champs. And Otunga meets Clay on the floor. Clay rolls him back in the ring. Otunga turns around into the Cobra from Santino for the win. After the match, Christian lays out Otunga with a kill switch. And Brodus Clay gets a revenge on Otunga with a big splash. And Naomi and Karen and some kids are shown in the ring dancing with everyone as the show goes to replays. Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez walk up on Teddy Long backstage. Del Rio talks about the
World Heavyweight title match.
World Heavyweight title match, or shot, as he earned months ago after WrestleMania. Teddy says Del Rio doesn't deserve anything, in his opinion, but the board of directors have named him the #1 contender, and he will face Sheamus at Money in the Bank. Teddy says that was their decision, but he has other plans for tonight. Del Rio is in the match, and is up next. Not much of this match as it actually does any heaven as they go to commercial.
Yeah.
Supposedly, it's Alberto Del Rio versus Sin Cara.
Which would have begged for a decent match. If they didn't want to build up Sin Cara.
Back from the break, Ricardo Rodriguez begins the introduction of Alberto Del Rio. Out next comes Teddy Long.
Yeah.
Cara runs into the ring, but Del Rio takes him out. When he tries to enter with a knee to the head, Del Rio unloads on Cara and beats him down to the floor. The bell has not even rang yet as Del Rio applies the cross-arm breaker. Cara taps out on the floor, but Del Rio won't break the hold. The officials try to break the hold, but Del Rio finally lets go on his own. And the crowd chants something in Spanish. I couldn't hear it myself. As Del Rio has officials attending to Sin Cara. AJ is backstage when Daniel Bryan walks up. He confesses that he's always cared about her. And Bryan says he was just frustrated with himself for messing things up and he didn't know how to react. Bryan says he's sorry and hands her a rose. AJ says she's sure it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a special referee. She says Bryan doesn't care about her and never has. AJ says she can't wait to win her match tonight, and then run into the arms of the man who everyone sees as her soulmate. She bites off the rose and spits it out before walking off. I didn't see that myself.
Well, there was a report. There was also a report that she slapped him in the face with the rose. On WWE.com, that was the report. So you never know.
All right. Paul Heyman was shown preparing to speak live via satellite, as my prediction for last week was correct. It would be his representative, Brock Lesnar's representative, because he's only allowed so many dates up until WrestleMania.
Well, he hasn't been on the show in 2 months.
Well, gotta cut him somewhere. Because after the pay-per-view SummerSlam, he'll probably be on there more regularly.
I mean, after the brawl he had with John Cena, he disappeared for 2 months.
Yep. Back from the break, and we see footage of Triple H laying Paul Heyman out at No Way Out.
Yeah.
And we go live via satellite to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman announces that Lesnar has made a decision regarding Triple H's SummerSlam challenge. Heyman says Lesnar will deliver it straight to Triple H's face at the 1000th Raw. Heyman goes on and says if Lesnar accepts, he will end Triple H's in-ring career. And Heyman says if Lesnar accepts, it won't be a match, it will be a mercy killing.
Yeah, we'll put that on TV.
Just announced for tonight, Kane versus Big Show in a no disqualification match. Also Sheamus and AJ Lee versus Dolph Ziggler and Vicky Guerrero. Back to commercial. Vicky and AJ try to scrap, but it gets broken up. Sheamus starts out with Ziggler and they lock up. Sheamus takes him down, but they trade holds. Sheamus runs into an uppercut and gets drop kicked for a 1 count. Ziggler with right hands before working on the arm of Sheamus. Ziggler ducks a clothesline but gets dropped on his face. Sheamus runs over Ziggler with a forearm for 2. Ziggler kicks out of Sheamus' leg and kicks him in the face. Ziggler comes back with a big tornado DDT for another 2. Ziggler with a headlock now. Sheamus fights out and knocks Ziggler out of the air. Sheamus nails White Noise and readies for the brogue kick, but Ziggler tags in Vicky and avoids it. Sheamus is forced to tag in AJ, but first he knocks Ziggler out of the ring with a brogue kick. AJ comes in and kicks Vicky before hitting her with a Shining Wizard for the win. I watched the match, but I missed the finish. So AJ and Sheamus win. After the match, AJ runs around chanting, yes, 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 some orgasm, and runs right up the ramp and to the back. I did see that part myself. And then we get replays, and they go backstage with AJ again. She's looking for CM Punk and walks right up on him on the phone. He tells her to hang on, and she gets mad for a second. Punk hangs up and says he was on the phone with his sister. She acts as if he saw the match. He says no because he was talking to his sister on the phone, and we didn't know she had a match. She's now upset that he wasn't paying attention to her, and AJ walks off upset, and Punk shrugs his shoulders. Back to commercial.
Most boring match of the night.
And here we go with the anticipated Legend beating Heath Slater.
And it didn't happen this time.
Well, everybody's surprise was DDP. But first, it's a match with none other than Brooklyn Brawler, a.k.a. Dr. Tyrone.
Which was boring.
Okay. And Heath Slater's in the ring. We see a video of his recent run-ins. And he says that everything, all of his run-ins with WWE Legends, and it's not funny. He's not a clown. And that meaning for his opponent to come out.
He's always been cutting promos for the Legends that he runs into.
I'm not a clown. It's like, I'm the ruler of the world. Well, that was said last week.
And last week when he faced Vader, he said, it's Slater time. That was a big old hint.
Yep. And so we got Slater versus Doink the Clown. Well, the bell rings and they lock up. Doink smacks Slater, and he gets mad. Slater turns it around and goes back and forth.
And he hits a breaker, a big neck breaker.
Until Slater hits a big neck breaker for the win out of nowhere. So Heath Slater actually wins the match.
Against the Legend.
Against the Legend, Brooklyn Brawler. A.K.A. Doink the Clown. Okay, after the match, the music hits and out comes GGB. And he gets a big pop and does the famous bang signal. And the fans chant his name as Slater mocks him. DDP pulls Slater in for a hug, but lays him out with a big diamond cutter. And DDP slaps his hands with the fans and leaves for the ring. For another pop. And we get a trailer for No Holds Barred. What's that smell?
Nice.
The famous movie with Zeus versus Hogan. All right, back from the commercial break. Well, before the commercial break, Kane and Big Show were walking backstage as we go back to commercial. And then back from the break, we get a video of John Cena and Alicia Fox visiting troops at the Walter Reed Medical Center last week. And your no disqualification match, Kane versus Big Show. Kane is out first.
Kane was out first.
Pull it up.
He's out first for the next match. Big Show comes out, hits the ring ready to fight, and they do something.
Technical difficulties.
I do apologize, guys. Because at first, let's see, ready for the fight, and then Kane backs into a corner with body shots in the big shot.
Go ahead.
Woo! And then Kane fights back with right hands and then a headlock. Show knocks Kane down with a big shoulder. Ends up with dropping Show's neck over the top rope. Whoops! But Show knocks him off the apron into the barrier. Show works on Kane over to the floor now. Show for the big boots. You just turned it up too far there.
Oh, went too far. Okay.
Big boot from Kane moves on his legs hung over the barrier. Kane fights back now until the Big Show whips him into the ring post. Ow. Kane goes for the choke slam to the floor, but Big Show fights it off. Show drops Kane with a big kick. Show rolls Kane back into the ring and then grabs a steel chair. Kane fights back until Show enters the ring. Kane hits a big DDT, covers for a 2 count. Kane goes up to the top, but Show moves, and as he goes down, Kane grabs the chair, but Show spears it into him. Ow. And then Show clinches his shoulder, but choke slams Kane onto the chair for the win.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that part at the very end.
Big Show might have got injured.
Yeah, Big Show.
He is overweight too. Alright, Teddy Long runs into Eve Torres backstage. She starts kissing up and tells her to save the drama. And Teddy puts a big name tag on her and laughs and walks off. Eve tears up and walks up to AJ, who is still upset. Eve says that she's been really busy lately, taking a play out of her own book. Eve tells her to leave the mind games to grown-ups and then go do what little girls do best, sit in the little corner and cry. AJ says Eve will do anything for attention. AJ asks what Eve was going to do now that John Laurinaitis is gone, and who is she going to brown nose next. AJ says that she's going to show Eve and everyone else how to get attention, and she walks off, and Eve shakes her head back to commercial. and this was interesting. I didn't expect this to happen. Tyson O'Neill and Tensai.
Tyson Kidd.
Excuse me. Back from the break, Tyson Kidd waits in the ring as Lord Tensai comes out with Sakamoto. The bell rings and Tensai backs Tyson into the corner and then loads on him. Out of nowhere, Kidd rolls Tensai for the quick 3.
Okay, what happened in that is Tensai went for a big splash, and he busted his head right between his eyes because he had a big gash there. It was bleeding.
And that was not intentional.
Because Kidd just moved out of the way, kind of like sliding out of the way like Kofi does his little spin kick, and then Tyson comes back in, rolls him up for the pinfall.
And then after the match, Tensai takes out his frustration and beats up his manager again,
Sakamoto,
and tosses him out to the floor as the crowd boos. Tensai goes out after him, and they continue the assault as we go to replay of the match, which wasn't very long.
All right. Okay. Chris Jericho backstage when Daniel Bryan walks up. Bryan hopes he isn't wearing his stupid light jacket into the ring. This is another funny segment. Jericho puts down Bryan's yes jacket and his beard. So they're going back and forth. Bryan chants, yes, yes, yes. Jericho tells him to never, ever say that again. And Jericho says ever again. As Bryan chants, yes, yes, yes. And then Jericho keeps on saying, ever, ever, again. Back and forth. And
CM Punk
and Cena getting ready before going back to commercial. Tyson Kidd is backstage when Josh Matthews is walked in for a comment on his victory. And just as Kidd says he's on top of the world, then Tensai attacks him from behind. Tensai then throws Kidd into the lockers and leaves him laying there. Okay, Chris Jericho and Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk and John Cena. We go to the ring, and out comes Chris Jericho, followed by Daniel Bryan for the main event. And WWE Champion CM Punk is out next, followed by his partner John Cena. And Punk starts things off with Bryan. They go at it, and Bryan drops Punk with a shoulder, and Punk comes back with the arm drags and uppercut. Punk with the chops in the corner and a suplex for 2. Cena comes in and unloads on Bryan. Cena with a bulldog, but Jericho tags in. Jericho gets dumped out to the floor as Cena and Punk stand tall. Back to commercial. Take over.
And back from break, John Cena, Jericho has John Cena in a headlock. John Cena fights out of it, but Jericho cuts him off. And then Cena rolls out of the way, and Jericho misses the line assault, always. Bryan tags in and stops Cena from tagging. He takes Cena out, back to the corner and beats him down with kicks. Bryan runs and connects with a drop kick for another 2 count. And Bryan tags in Jericho, and they double team Cena. And Jericho takes over now and keeps Cena from tagging. And then Jericho blocks the attitude adjustment, aka the FU, from him with a DDT and goes for a 2 count. Jericho goes up but misses a drop kick in the corner as Cena moves. Punk finally comes in and takes out Bryan with a clothesline and a drop kick. Punk with a net breaker now, and then hits the high knee, but Punk counters the bulldog. And Punk comes in with a power slam for 2. Learning that one from Randy Orton.
Scoop slam.
Yeah. And then Punk locks in the Anaconda Vice, but Jericho breaks it up. Then Cena comes in, takes out Jericho to the floor. Classic. And they fight up from the ramp and go back. And then go back with Cena in control as Punk and Bryan go at it. Back and forth now. Bryan drops Punk with a kick to the head. Then Punk gets the knees, but Bryan drops him with another kick and covers for 2. Then they go to the top, and Punk nails big superplex and kicks out at 2 still.
Bryan kicks out at 2. Yeah. Hey, AJ's music hits, and out she comes. Again, skipping just like Mickey James used to do around the ring, and Bryan and Punk go at it, trading shots. She looks upset that nobody is paying attention to her. She gets on the apron, and they still don't give her any attention. They collide in midair, and they both go down at the same time. AJ goes under the ring and brings out a table. AJ sets up the table on the at ringside and slowly walks up to the ring steps. AJ climbs up to the top rope to jump down through the table. Bryan gets up and begs her not to do it. Punk climbs up to the top with her and tells her to get down. She grabs him and kisses him. AJ pushes Punk down onto Bryan, and they both crash through the table. She looks down from the top turnbuckle and laughs at them both. AJ chants Borgasms as we go to replays of what just happened. As Raw goes off the air with AJ smiling from the top rope. And that will end our report for Raw for this week.